An angry cop pinned a black woman to the pavement, blood spilling down her face. He mocked her in front of everyone, thinking she was powerless. But the moment she fought back, everything he believed was about to shatter. Because this woman was no ordinary victim. What happened next left the whole street speechless. "Get your hands where I can see them." The officer's voice was sharp enough to make the crowd freeze. A black woman lay crushed against the hot concrete, her cheeks scraped raw. Her name was Alyssa Grant. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't resisting. Her olive green shirt was torn where the officer's fist had clutched her, blood dripping slowly from her lip. The officer, Sergeant Mason Cole, drove his knee harder into her ribs, grinding her down. "Thought you could just run, huh? Thought you were slick." His spit landed on her cheek. Alyssa gasped, her voice steady despite the pain. "I didn't run. I was just walking home." "Shut your mouth," Cole barked, jerking her collar. His voice rose so the gathering crowd could hear. "You fit the description. Armed and violent." Her body stiffened, not from guilt but from the weight of history. Fit the description. 3 words that had scarred generations. A woman across the street shouted, "She's bleeding. Let her go." Another man added, "She didn't do anything." But Cole ignored them. His smirk widened, feeding on fear. Phones lifted, but no one stepped closer. Fear was his weapon. Alyssa coughed, tasting iron. To them she looked ordinary. Messy ponytail. Scuffed boots. Plain clothes. But inside her chest beat years of training. She had carried heavier uniforms than Cole's badge. She had flown across deserts, marched into combat zones, and stared down men who carried real weapons, not just authority. She was Staff Sergeant Alyssa Grant, U.S. Army, retired. But Cole didn't see that. He didn't want to. All he saw was skin. "Look at her," Cole sneered to the crowd. "Acting all innocent. But dangerous. These types always are." The venom in these burned hotter than the concrete beneath her. Her wrists twisted raw in the cuffs, but she'd felt worse. Alyssa whispered, voice quiet but sharp. "You have no idea who you're putting your hands on." Cole laughed, pressing harder. "Oh, I know exactly what you are." Sirens wailed in the distance as another squad car pulled up. Bystanders muttered nervously. A small boy tugged his mother's shirt. "Mom, why are they hurting her?" "She didn't do anything." The mother hushed him quickly, fear in her eyes. Alyssa heard it. That voice carried the same weight as every letter she once wrote from overseas. Promises that children back home wouldn't have to see war. And yet, here on American streets they were watching one. Cole yanked her up by the collar, spitting in her face. "You think you can disrespect me on my street? You people need to learn your place." Gasps tore through the crowd. Some turned away, others clenched fists helplessly. Alyssa stayed silent. Not weak, calculating. Cole's partner hesitated. "Mason, maybe ease up." "No," Cole snapped. "She's an example. Let one slip and they all think they can." The crowd stirred angrily. A man stepped forward. David Torres, a construction worker with dust still on his boots. "That's enough. She hasn't done anything. You're choking her." "Stay back," Cole snarled. "Or you're next." But Alyssa's blood boiled. She remembered Afghanistan. Dust storms. Mortar fire. Carrying brothers out of burning trucks. Saluting flag-draped coffins. She had fought for the country stitched onto Cole's sleeve. And here she was treated like prey. Her silence hardened into steel. The crowd's voices swelled, phones raised higher. Cole pressed harder, panicked by the loss of control. "You really don't know who I am," Alyssa whispered. "You're a nobody," he hissed. "Just a street rat in combat boots." Her lips curled into a warning. In one motion, Alyssa twisted her cuffed wrist, rolled her shoulder, and shoved against his knee. Cole's balance snapped. He stumbled, arms flailing. Gasps exploded from the crowd. Alyssa moved fast, not furious, disciplined. She caught his wrist, bent it precisely, making him howl. His baton clattered to the ground. She pivoted, flipping him face first onto the pavement, the same way he'd held her. "You laid hands on the wrong soldier," she said coldly. The word soldier hit like a grenade. She pinned him, disarmed him, and with calm precision slipped free of the cuffs in the scuffle. From her pocket, she pulled a battered leather wallet and flipped it open. The military ID flashed in the crowd's cameras. Staff Sergeant Alyssa Grant, United States Army, retired. The silence was deafening. Alyssa stood tall, bloodied but unbroken. She pressed her boot against Cole's back, not to crush him but to remind him of who now held power. "You told me to know my place," she said evenly. My place was on the front lines carrying my brothers home in coffins. My place was defending a country that lets men like you treat women like me as criminals for walking down the street. Cole thrashed, humiliated. The crowd roared, not in fear but in approval. She's a hero, someone shouted. Shame on you, officer, cried another. Other cops had arrived, but none stepped in. They saw what everyone saw, truth dismantling abuse in seconds. Alyssa released him, stepping back with steady breaths. Cole scrambled to his feet, face scraped and red. You're finished, Alyssa said flatly. Not even your badge can save you now. Not in front of all these witnesses. The crowd erupted. Phones captured everything. His authority shattered. His mask ripped away. For the first time he stood alone. Alyssa's voice rose, not for him but for the people. This is what happens every day. We're suspects just for existing. When we fight back with truth, we're called dangerous. But hear me now, we are stronger than your lies. Stronger than your hate. Silence fell heavy. Even the sirens seemed to fade. An older man in a Vietnam veteran's cap stepped forward, voice breaking. She's one of us. I know that look. She's a soldier. The crowd erupted, chanting. Soldier. 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 Cole shrank under the weight of truth. Alyssa leaned close, whispering in his ear. You thought the badge gave you power. Real power comes from honor. And you've never had that. Then she turned away. Bruised. Bloodied. But unbowed. The people parted for her, reverent. Mothers pulled their children close, not in fear but in awe. David Torres wiped his eyes. Ma'am, thank you for standing up. For not letting him win. Alyssa only nodded. As the boy from before watched, she crouched to meet his gaze. Don't ever let anyone tell you your skin makes you less. It makes you strong. Stronger than they'll ever understand. His small nod was enough. Alyssa rose, her shadow long in the setting sun. I fought for this country, she said softly. But sometimes the hardest battles are fought right here at home. She walked away. And truth walked with her.